We're tearing down Papa's back, and we're going to rebuild it for him.
Oh, we want something that's handmade. We want something that's kind of different. You're not going to see again. All right, here we go, Mike.
Behind the glitz and glamour of the high-performance custom cars in Iron Resurrection lie dark sides that not everyone knows about. Can you believe that some familiar faces who were once the heart and soul of the show have now passed away or are even behind bars? Was it the curse of fame that led them to these tragic fates? Or are there shocking secrets behind it all that have never been revealed on television? Many fans are still desperately searching for answers about the fate of the members in 2026. Today's video will expose the whole truth about the names that have disappeared. Michael Mike Z. Zabonik. Michael Mike Z. Zabonik grew up in sun-soaked Texas, where he first became familiar with metal bars, welding torches, and the sound of engines in the early 1980s. For many years after that, Mike Z worked tirelessly to learn welding techniques and handcrafted metal shaping at local repair shops before catching the eye of the Martin brothers. When Iron Resurrection began filming in 2016, he immediately became one of the core faces appearing from the very first season. With a quiet presence but extraordinarily precise hands, the veteran welder helped shape the frames and breathe life into rusted American muscle cars that seem to have been left behind.
Damn.
I was easy on that tank, I promise you. You see me pull it off, I was like...
We made it through, Mike.
You know what I can tell Papa? We risked our life.
Audiences remember Mike Z as a skilled mechanic, often losing track of time beside the blinding sparks of welding at Martin Brothers Customs. But behind that steady presence on television, his private life went through many ups and downs that the public barely knew about. He always tried to keep his personal life private, especially after 2 divorces in 1980 and 2014 events believed to have had a significant impact on his personal finances. The pressure of constantly appearing in front of the camera combined with public scrutiny made a naturally reserved man like Mike Z feel increasingly uncomfortable. The fatigue accumulated over time, leading him to decide to leave the show after the footage for the 4th season wrapped in 2020. Mike Z chose to withdraw in silence, issuing no press statement and using no social media to explain himself to fans. The sudden disappearance of this familiar face created a large void, stirring curiosity among those who had followed the custom shop for years. The matter reached its peak on March 28th, 2024, when numerous sources spread reports claiming that Mike Z had suddenly passed away. The news appeared everywhere, causing confusion among the fan community. The authorities in Texas recorded no death certificate or official obituary under his name. Close colleagues from his former shop who understood Mike Z's private nature came forward to calm public speculation. During a live conversation about the shop's staff, Joe Martin once shared, "He just wanted to go back to his normal life, away from every camera and all the noise." The confirmation from the head of Martin Brothers Customs showed that Mike Z did not disappear because of some mysterious tragedy, but actively chose a path away from the spotlight to regain peace. By May 2026, the veteran welder was still committed to a secluded way of life, almost never using social media to communicate with the public. He currently lives in the suburbs of Dallas, Texas, where he can rediscover the original joy of labor in a private mechanical space. Every day, Mike Z still takes small-scale welding, cutting, and frame fabrication orders for familiar clients or longtime private partners. His life now no longer has a director shouting cut, no longer has a packed filming schedule. Only the dry, cold sound of metal, the smell of engine oil, and the handcrafted work he has been tied to for nearly his entire life. The decision to close his television chapter helped Mike Z protect his privacy and the reputation of a skilled craftsman. For those who once loved Martin Brothers Customs, his absence still leaves a void. But for Mike Z himself, perhaps it was the only way to preserve the peaceful part of life that the television lights had nearly taken away. Javier Shorty Ponce. Javier Shorty Ponce spent a difficult childhood in Texas, where his family's financial burden forced him to step into the world early to make a living. While many children his age were still sitting in classrooms, Shorty had to learn how to work, save every dollar, and understand very early that no one could build his future for him. Refusing to surrender to his circumstances, he saved up capital, returned to complete his general education, and then entered the custom auto painting industry. It was not a glamorous path. It began with the strong smell of paint-long shifts hands covered in sanding dust and old cars waiting to be brought back to life through color. Through persistence, Shorty founded a small paint shop of his own, gradually building credibility in the classic car world before an important meeting with Joe Martin. Their shared sense of aesthetics combined with Shorty's steady craftsmanship brought the Texas painter into the core team when Iron Resurrection began filming in 2016. For 4 long years, he proved his talent through color-mixing glossy spray painting and creating depth in every layer of a car's body. Under Shorty's hands, rough car shells were not only refreshed but seemed to be dressed in another life. Viewers quickly grew fond of him for his dedication, gentle smile, and quiet, confident way of working. But behind the cheerful image on screen was a schedule that was far from easy. Each week, Shorty had to drive himself for hours between Dallas and Austin to keep up with the filming schedule. The long trips to work at his own shop and the pressure in front of the camera gradually wore down a man who simply wanted to live close to his family and work at his own rhythm. A major turning point came in 2019 when he officially became a grandfather. That moment made Shorty reconsider his priorities in life. Fame television and studio lights could be very appealing, but they could not replace the feeling of being close to loved ones during important years. When the 4th season began filming in 2020, his absence immediately sparked many rumors about legal trouble, an arrest warrant, or even a long prison sentence. But those rumors did not reflect the truth. Motor Trend clarified that Shorty voluntarily left the show because of geographic distance and health, not because of conflict or being fired. The painter himself also posted a video on Facebook to speak directly to fans. Sometimes, some priorities in life change and suddenly life becomes more meaningful than being on TV. That statement did not sound like an excuse. It sounded like the words of a man who had understood what he needed after many years of chasing filming schedules, deadlines, and audience expectations. The decision to leave Iron Resurrection opened a new chapter for Shorty. He focused on expanding Shorty's custom paint under Elite Auto Works Inc., building his own brand in Midlothian, Texas. By May 2026, the painter from those early days had found firmer ground, no longer dependent on television contracts or the permission of producers. He continued appearing in his own show, Shorty's Dream Shop, where everything unfolded closer to the real rhythm of a custom car shop. No longer having to follow television scripts, Shorty could choose his own projects, decide his own paint colors, and preserve the professional spirit he had pursued from the beginning. His paint shop remains busy with orders from car enthusiasts everywhere. But more importantly, Shorty has not lost the original reason he fell in love with this work. To him, a beautiful coat of paint is not only meant to make a car shine under the lights, but also to return to it a piece of memory, a piece of pride for its owner. Choosing family over fame helped Shorty keep the peace that reality television does not always allow. He did not disappear because of failure. He left because he wanted to live more truly, according to his own rhythm. And that is what makes the journey of the Texas painter a gentle reminder. Sometimes the greatest success is not being seen by many people, but being able to return to the place where one truly belongs. Joe Martin. Joe Martin began his mechanical journey by teaching himself how to repair old motorcycles, choppers, and battered American muscle cars in small workshops. His distinctive design mindset and solid mechanical skills helped him win an award at Discovery Channel's Biker Build-Off competition, opening a major turning point in the international custom car world. Thanks to that reputation, Joe and his wife built Martin Brothers Customs in Johnson City, Texas. As the shop became increasingly known, television producers began to take notice, then brought the brand to Motor Trend Network in 2016. For many years, the leader of Martin Brothers Customs remained the soul of the shop. He personally stepped into the heaviest stages of the work, from metal shaping, welding, frame cutting, and body work to engine assembly. Audiences remember Joe as an energetic craftsman, always finding ways to turn piles of scrap metal into high-value custom masterpieces. Still, the cable television machine gradually began to reveal signs of instability as the management structure behind it changed. In March 2024, the final episode of Season 7 aired. Then production activity seemed to fall almost completely silent. The long silence from the network led the public to begin speculating about the financial situation of the Texas shop. By July 2025, when Warner Bros. Discovery restructured its online media system and shut down the Motor Trend app, the future of Iron Resurrection became even more uncertain. The shutdown of the broadcast platform forced Joe to find a new path for his own brand. In late 2025, he announced that Martin Bros. Customs had ended its contractual relationship with the network and would shift toward an independent content production model on YouTube. Entering May 2026, the head craftsman of the Johnson City shop continued his familiar work beside technical drawings, car frames, and the sound of metal. No longer controlled by television filming schedules, Joe adjusted Martin Bros. Customs into a leaner, more practical model that depended less on major studios. The shop's revenue no longer relied heavily on television royalties, gradually shifting toward merchandise-branded clothing and self-produced digital content. For Joe, that was not only a business move, but also a way to regain creative control after many years living under the pressure of viewer ratings. This shift required a truly solid management backbone because behind the gleaming cars were cash flow contracts orders and a complex e-commerce system. Much of that burden rested on the shoulders of the woman who had quietly kept the entire shop in rhythm. Amanda "Mandy" Martin. Amanda "Mandy" Martin had many years of background in banking and financial management before becoming Joe's important partner at Martin Bros. Customs. As the shop expanded, Mandy took on the role of executive vice president, overseeing the commercial engine behind the iron doors. Her work was not at the welding torch or in the paint room. Mandy searched everywhere for project vehicles, negotiated prices with sellers, balanced budgets, and made sure each project did not move beyond its financial limits. On television, audiences remembered her as a sharp woman, always appearing at the right moment to pull the team's bold ideas back toward reality. Mandy's presence brought balance to the rough atmosphere of an American muscle car custom shop. Along with that role, she also had to face public pressure whenever the staff lineup changed. When veteran members gradually left the show, many rumors about internal conflict began to spread. Mandy spoke on behalf of the shop multiple times, explaining that personnel changes came from personal choices, contract conditions, and the harsh nature of the reality television industry. Outside work, the woman behind Martin Bros. Customs also spent time on community activities. Since 2018, she has participated in fundraising campaigns for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, while also staying connected to pitbull rescue work through SoCal Pitbull Rescue. When the show came to a close and the old broadcast system was no longer a support point, Mandy quickly shifted her focus to the family's online business. What had once been only side products attached to television fame now became a more important source of income: t-shirts, hats, souvenir accessories, items carrying the Martin Bros. Customs logo, and sales campaigns aimed directly at the car-loving community. By May 2026, she was still the person behind the operation of the e-commerce division, tracking orders, controlling the brand image, allocating digital advertising budgets, and maintaining relationships with automotive parts sponsors. While Joe returned to car frames, machinery, and technical drawings, Mandy kept the financial backstage from breaking apart, helping the shop survive without remaining completely dependent on the television broadcast schedule. Mandy's life is no longer tightly tied to a television broadcast schedule. She still stands behind the numbers orders and media plans, keeping Martin Bros. Customs able to continue operating in a period no longer covered by the same studio lights as before. Jason "Shag" Arrington. Jason "Shag" Arrington entered the custom car world with a different set of tools. He not only had a love for Texas classic car culture, but also a background in marketing, public relations, and sharp communication skills. From 2016 to 2024, Shag became the pathfinder for many of the shop's restoration projects. He went through old warehouses, junkyards, distant farms, and places few people would think of in search of forgotten vehicles. The classic car hunter's task was to convince owners to part with project cars, negotiate reasonable prices, and help find buyers after the finished product was complete. His decisive negotiation style and understanding of the historical value of each vehicle line made Shag an important connecting link at Martin Bros. Customs. After the show stopped airing, his appearances in the media clearly decreased. His long absence caused many inaccurate rumors to appear, from legal trouble to arrest warrants connected to old car deals. This part should be written more carefully at present. There is no reliable verified source showing that Shag is in prison or involved in a major publicly disclosed criminal case. His retreat makes more sense when seen as a personal choice after many years living with filming schedules, travel schedules, and television pressure. Shag gradually returned to his own rhythm of life, spending more time with family, local car events, and consulting activities within the classic car community. Jason Shag. Arrington's absence actually came from a proactive decision to completely change his personal lifestyle after years of pressure from filming schedules. Jason Shag Arrington chose to leave noisy cities and move to a peaceful rural area of Texas, seeking quiet with his family. As of May 2026, Jason Shag Arrington is independently running a small commercial strategy consulting business specializing in valuation support for independent classic car collectors. Alongside his private business, Jason Shag Arrington spends much time helping organize local custom car exhibition events and running Texas mechanical culture experience tours. From time to time, Jason Shag Arrington still returns to the old custom shop to appear in short, self-produced videos as a free companion, no longer bound by contract terms or pressure from major production studios. His current life helps Jason Shag Arrington keep his passion for hunting cars intact without having to trade away his personal privacy. The journey of each member shifting from television glamour back to the original value of labor has painted a fuller, more emotional picture of the fates of true mechanics. Their names may have once been tied to bright studio lights, dramatic edits, and the fast rhythm of a hit reality show, but their real identity was never built only on fame. It was forged through years of hard work, grease-stained hands, long hours beside welding sparks, and a deep respect for the craft of bringing forgotten machines back to life. Personnel changes and the end of a successful show did not extinguish the fire of the craft. They simply pushed that fire into new spaces, away from the strict rhythm of television schedules and into lives shaped more by family privacy, independence, and creative control. For some members, stepping away from the cameras was not a sign of failure, but a way to reclaim quiet, protect their peace, and return to work without the constant pressure of being watched. Others carried their skills into their own businesses, personal builds, local car events, or smaller projects where the sound of tools mattered more than the noise of publicity. The shop lights may have changed and the audience may no longer see every hour of labor on screen, but the passion never disappeared. It remained in the garages, in the metal dust, in the half-finished frames, in the hands that still remembered how to bring a forgotten machine back to life. What once looked like disappearance was, in truth, transformation. The shop, the show, and the audience all changed, but the skills these builders carried did not fade. Their story proves that the value of a real craftsman does not depend on screen time ratings or public attention. It lives in discipline, loyalty to the trade, and the ability to keep creating even after the spotlight moves elsewhere. The contract with Hollywood may have closed, but the journey of reviving legendary engines by Joe Martin Shorty or Mike Z still continues freely and steadily in their own way. Which member of Martin Brothers Customs impressed you the most with the decision to leave the television spotlight? Leave your opinion right below in the comments so we can discuss it together. And if you enjoyed this in-depth report, do not forget to share the video with those who share the same passion for custom cars, and subscribe to the channel with the notification bell turned on so you will not miss the next authentic behind-the-scenes stories. Thank you for watching, goodbye, and see you again.